Anita in San Antonio, Texas. Hey, Anita, you wanted to talk about greed?
Yeah, hi, Tom. Yeah, not just about greed, but about selfishness. I just wonder how selfish billionaires like the Walmart family must be. To be making billions of dollars in profit, but they watch people that work for them, who are providing this money to them, who are making them, making it them able to make this kind of money, who who can't live, decently, can't afford food or housing or decent health care. I don't understand that. And there's the selfishness you see sometimes with Republicans who don't seem to care about an issue until it affects them.
Right.
Like Rob Portman, who all of a sudden cared about marriage equality when he found out his son was gay.
Right. So how would you differentiate between greed and selfishness? Would it be that greed is an obsession on acquisition, whereas selfishness is narcissism?
Yeah, I'm not sure that you don't always have both, when
Right.
a greedy person is a selfish person.
Yeah, there's a lot of overlap
Because
there.
you have to be selfish to be greedy, I would think.
Yeah. Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to find somebody who has done research on greed. I know there have been a few books written on this over the years. I've cited a couple of them in my book Threshold about how mental illness, specifically greed or wetico or whatever you want to call it, how it spreads in a society, how it's contagious actually. And society either organizes itself to exacerbate that greed, which we've been doing for 34 years in the United States, or society organizes itself in a way to restrain that greed, as Norway and Denmark do.
Well, it's not. Yeah, but greed. It's not just greed. Like I think selfishness is really more to the point because we've actually been celebrating selfishness.
Oh, I get that, but my argument, and I may not be right on this, but my argument is that selfishness is not something you can legislate. Selfishness is a personality characteristic. Greed is
Right.
It reflects a behavior. You demonstrate greed by doing something, and basically by taking at the expense of others. Greed can be legislated. So as a society, we can react against greed by changing the rules of the marketplace, for example, whereas it's very difficult as a society to react against selfishness outside of perhaps changing the way that we teach elementary school kids, to inculcate into them social consciousness, as it were, community consciousness, and as opposed to I got mine, screw everybody else kind of stuff. Am I making sense, Anita?
We're not. Right. Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think we're born selfish. So if we teach our children, not to be selfish, I think that's what we.
Well, I think actually, respectfully, let me disagree. We are born as infants totally selfish and totally dependent. When we're little babies, our entire world revolves around my needs, right? My diaper's dirty. I'm hungry. I'm cold. I'm frightened, and revolves around expressing that. Kids yell, scream, whatever, And then as we get older, when we get to be a year, 2, 3, 4 years old, and we discover that there are other people in the world, and we start developing empathy with them, then the selfishness diminishes. And the principle, and I remember this so well. One time, I used to teach advertising and marketing through the American Marketing Centers and through the Newsletter Factory. And long before that, I took some classes in advertising and marketing. And I remember this one guy, I think his name was Joe Sugarman, who was teaching this class on advertising way back in the day, back in the 70s. And he said, the principal message of advertising, this is the thing you need to remember when you're designing successful advertising campaigns, is that the principal message of advertising is you are the most important person in the world and you deserve this. And if you can convey that message to somebody, they will be receptive and they will buy your product. And that's basically infantilizing people. It's pushing people into an infant state. And I would say that people who are acting out with greed through their selfishness have not progressed beyond the stage of being 3 years old. Am I making sense?
That makes perfect sense. You're absolutely right.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
we are born selfish. Yes.
So what we've got is a bunch of billionaires who have not grown up yet. they have not yet hit the primary developmental phases of life. Anita, thank you for the call. That's very thought-provoking. Thank you so much. And I love the distinction between greed and selfishness. It's brilliant.